Evangelism, speaking to people in the street, sharing the gospel, isn't always easy. But in this video, we talk about some tips to help you.
Yeah, Dave, we were discussing when we came here in the car, like you're doing some outreach on the street.
Yeah, a little bit. I would certainly not say I'm an expert, but we tried to.
So we go to the next question.
Yeah, move on. Watch another video.
No, but it's just, I think all of us, we have our questions like how to reach out in a postmodern world to people, especially like I know people who do street preaching, others reach out to them in different ways, give out flyers and stuff like this. So what do you do?
Well, I mean, my first thing would be to say, it's not easy. And nobody's saying, and you have to get over the point. It's scary sometimes. And you fear rejection, and there's all these kind of things that come at you. 9 times, if not 10 times out of 10, though, when you go home, you're super happy to have done it, and you really rejoice. So you go there going, I really hope the other guy's not there, so I don't have to go. And you come back absolutely elated, having felt you've shared the gospel with people. So, I mean, what I would say, the first thing is you need to know your area or where you're going, because I come from Northern Ireland, which is a very Christian country still. People have you don't need to break down the terms, Christian terms, because they understand them. Most people have gone to church and they have a rough understanding.
Which is different
than other places.
For example, in Germany, and France.
So you do need to know your area, you need to know your people, but ultimately you get to know that by getting out there in the street. The other side of it, people might say, well, what about friendship, evangelism? What about getting to know the people? I think there's definitely a place for that, but there's still thousands of people that are out there in this world that you're never going to play football with, that you're never going to meet, that you want to reach out to.
Do you like friendship and evangelism?
I think there's a place, but I think you have to get to the point. Depends what you mean by it, but you have to always get to the point where you're willing to put your friendship on the line. By that I mean you have to get to the point where you're going to explain to them they're a sinner and they need a saviour. And sometimes friendship evangelism is about spending time and making them feel good and loved, but never gets to that point.
And I think sometimes it's a bit fake. Like you become friends just to draw them into your religion. You're like, whoa. Yeah. But anyway, I understand the fact.
Back to the. So perhaps the only, if I had a tip, one thing that I find useful, and different people will find different things useful to their own personality.
Learn karate.
Yeah, learn karate. Learn to bake bread. If we take the example of Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch, now he wasn't in a street, he was called out to the desert somewhere. But one thing he does, he sees the Ethiopian eunuch reading and he asks him, do you understand what you're reading? And I take from that a general principle is ask people questions. If they're out there in the street, ask them a question like, are you going to heaven? Or do you believe in God? Or do good people go to heaven? Or have some kind of, and there's plenty of advice out there on the internet of good questions you can ask people.
Very good.
That first of all gets them knowing that you're interested in what they think, and you want to hear what they say, and you're not just going to throw your message in their face. And as you do that, as you begin to start with a conversation, things begin to open up, and there you have the opportunity to, depending on their answers, share the gospel in different ways. So that's really the main thing. I was with everything is going in prayer. Go with somebody as well, ideally. It's difficult, it's tough, and totally. You encourage one another. If you can at least find, and try and pray for this, one other person that can be with you, even for safety reasons if you're out later at night. But to serve and have fellowship in the gospel is a wonderful thing.
We're a living example.
Yeah.
It's much more fun than being alone.
Yeah, exactly. Much more. So try that, ask questions, and just... It's like anything. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the more experienced you get. You just have to start.
Yeah, perfect. So let's get started.
Try those tips. You still there? Yeah, they stayed right to the end.
Oh,
hey!
Nice.
Well done.
Good job.
If you've stayed this long, you might as well hit subscribe, give us a like, and throw something in the comment box.
Definitely.
Cheers.